Very good stuff. What's the mode of payment that it's gonna be like?
So we accept cash, online bank transfer.
How about shout out from a streamer? Do you guys accept that? See all the other gaming pieces like this, like fucking work of art right here. What ano yung dito sa Battle Pass Tech Parts, which is actually a very cool place where you can get the most affordable PC. Okay, let's go. Oh my god, I don't know how to do this. It sucks. Oh my god, napakaganda. Advertisement nito, super. Sa mga curious kasi wala akong stream ngayon. Ako nga pala, streamer nga pala ako. Diba? Nice na. I really think that would sound cool every time na sinasabi ko yan. Every time na may magtatanong sa akin, but it's just so gross. Okay, we're gonna do yung first gaming PC build ko. So, hopefully yung hours upon hours of researching sa YouTube, pag pinapanood ko ako si Evans, will finally pay off. Pag laki na bit na nila ako, pinagkasi mo to. Hindi, okay lang po. Sige, okay lang yun. No, it's okay. Can I just have yung boxes na lang? Yung sa Ryzen na. The Ryzen. So, if I'm gonna have any stupid questions, okay lang ba yun? Kuya Jeff, Kuya Dave, and Kuya Joe. Okay. So, if you want to get your gaming PC, first thing you need to consider is yung processor. So, if you're going to be into high, let's say high gaming, or editing, and all that stuff, yung pinaka... It's not future-proofing, what's the word? Face-forwarding component na pwede nyo makuha is yung Ryzen 5 5600X series. So it has 6 cores, 12 threads. Oh, it's okay lang yan, pwede ko siyang i-zoom sa edit. Hindi mo kailangan pumunta. Pwede ko siya i-zoom sa edit. So, 6 cores and 12 threads, so you can do basically a lot of things all at the same time. So for example, for me, since I'm a streamer, if you guys didn't know, yun nga, I would be able to run a very hardware extensive game while also running yung stream and OBS and also the Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. So that's one thing you need to consider. And you know, you don't really need, like, let's say a Ryzen 7 or a Ryzen 9 for that. You know, parang those, if you have the money to spare, of course, why not? Pero this is a very good sweet spot to spend your money on. The next thing you should consider is, of course, yung motherboard. Oh my god, this is so unprofessional. Okay, next is yung motherboard. So really, when you're going to consider for your motherboard is kung ano yung mga ilalagay mo. So is it compatible with your CPU, with the RAMs na ilang DIMM slots ng RAM yung kailangan nyo ilagay, and of course yung graphics card. Everything that goes into your PC goes through the motherboard first. So the best thing from my, I don't know since it's my first PC, but for all the research is the B550 motherboard. So it has all the slots that you can have, and you know, it's compatible with AMD and Intel processors. So you would also need RAM. So you know, RAM is always important, makes your PC faster. I don't know, is that a real thing? If you want something to be faster, just add RAM. I've always been curious kung totoo yun.
It depends on the type of software or type of application that you're gonna be running. Ang analogy ko dyan, or the best analogy ko dyan, whenever clients would be asking, RAM is like the highway, sir. So let's say, yung GPU and yung processor mo, those are like two buildings. So yung data naman, or yung games, yun po yung cars.
Yeah.
Yung RAM nyo, yun yung highway.
Okay.
So if let's say yung RAM nyo is 68 gig lang, so meaning medyo maliit lang yung highway.
Siksikan. Traffic.
Yes, siksikan, traffic, correct. If let's say gawin mong 16 gig, so mas maluwag na yung highway, so mas mabilis magdaloy ng traffic. Now if you make it 32 gig, mas mabilis yung daloy.
That makes a lot. See, this is why sila yung my store and I have a stupid Facebook game. And that's perfect segue. See, that professional is yung RAM. Meron pa tayong case?
I can get you
Oh my god, meron silang props! Oh my god, meron silang props! This is the best store ever! Di ba yung mga store hindi kami pinapansin eh. Yung ginagawa nila, nagmamadali sila tapos hindi man lang pinapapot. Look at this shit! Meron silang secret lab. You know what this cost? Mas mahal pa to kaysa sa gaming PC. They have this para pag umupo ka and you're watching your hard-earned money get turned into a piece of metal, at least komportable ka, diba? You can wallow in desperation, sitting comfortably in... Oh my god, look at that. Oh.
If we have two build times happening at the same time, we have two secret labs.
Anong gagawin nyo dun? Wala kang gagawin. Meron silang coffee machine. Anong klaseng, ano yung ibang, anong klaseng,
Yeah, stuttering prick, yeah.
computer shop merong coffee machine, para sa ano, hindi ko kinuha yung coffee sa kanila, pero they have a candy bowl! Yung tao sa there, I said it, yung sensor ko mamaya habang nag-edit ako. Alam nyo ba yun yung hindi nyo ba
Gilmore?
Opo, tapos gusto ko nilang umalis agad, like, that's why I don't wanna spend money dun sa ano. It's like, meron silang MSI RTX 3070. Yun lang yung doon lang kayo natalo. Doon lang kayo natalo silang MSI 3070. Pero, you know, ayaw nilang mag-serve. Yung parang galit sila lagi. Wala silang time for a question. It's like, I'm giving you a college tuition to buy a toy. Tapos you can't even crack a smile. Ano yun? It's like, tignan mo nila Kuya Dave. Diba?
Hello.
This is how you run a business. Take notes. Okay, let's get back dun sa sinasabi na. Is yung RAM. So, since we are streaming, we're gonna do a lot of, again, a lot of processes. And you know, you need to have RAM, as katulad ng sabi ko, you have a lot of applications and, you know, it's bottlenecking has to do with RAM and the CPU.
Possible din, because again, if let's say your RAM is, yung utilization ng RAM mo is quite high na, so that's gonna be lag or you're gonna be experiencing lag. Even if let's say hindi pa ganun ka maxed out yung performance ng processor or ng graphics card, so possible na magkaroon ng lagging because again, utilize na fully yung RAM, yung RAM.
So if you're going to do yung mga all the games nga, I mean, I think I have, meron akong 8 gig and 4 gig nung sa laptop. I don't know if you guys have seen, we've been able to play like
Feels like it's lagging. Like it's running a short of 30 FPS, like somewhere between 25 to triangle. Double tap for a dodge. Okay. Cyberpunk 2077. Oh, look at that! I'm already lagging. Jeez. Oh my gosh.
I've been able to play like The Witcher 3 at something, you know, I'm able to play Cyberpunk at the lowest of settings din naman dun. But you know, I was able to do that with just like 12 gigs of RAM. So imagine what you could do with 16. Diba? So you don't need to like do over like 32 or 64. That's too much unless you're going to do like really high edge like 3D editing stuff. But seriously, if you're watching my fucking streams, let's face it, you're not doing those things. You're wasting your 3 hours every day watching my stream. You got nothing going on with your life. Don't kid yourself. Okay, next of course would be, this is actually my favorite part kasi it's actually napansin ko dun sa, if I'm just gonna, can I have a comment dun sa amin? One of the things na napansin ko dun sa, whenever you guys do yung builds, and actually you can correct me for this, is yung pagdating sa power supply. So, I've always read na, mas maganda na you can like cheapen out on almost like everything except yung power supply. It's like, it would be, it's like napansin ko you guys would always do like bronze rated PSUs. But then again, I've come to your store naman, you guys said naman na if you have like money for gold rated, you should get gold rated PSU because it's more power efficient, it's going to you know, yung one of the things I considered when making the gaming PC is that if I want to upgrade anything, I don't want to remove my motherboard and I certainly don't want to remove my power supply because I'm gonna have to remove all the pins and do it all again. I don't know how to do that. I might break it. So one of the things I want to recommend is always try to get a gold rated power supply. But what's the reasoning behind that you guys would choose yung bronze rated?
Yung bronze rated power supply. When we started out kasi, what we noticed is that a lot of our clients really are a bit budget conscious. Not a bit. Actually, a lot of them are budget conscious. Now, if kagaya niyan, kami ng brother ko or kami dito sa shop, ang pinapractice namin is if you can go all out sa power supply, do so. Plus, it's not about efficiency ng kuryente na kinukonsume ng electricity, not at all. Para sa amin kasi very minimal lang naman yun eh. Yung matitipid mo na kuryente siguro sa isang taon, I don't know, 30 pesos, 100 pesos. That's pinakamagandang benefit of getting a gold rated or a nice rated power supply and higher wattage is yung heat generation niya mas mababa. And again, with PC components, the less heat generated, mas maganda yung performance ng PC.
Is a 650 watt power supply and we're running an RTX. So one of the things you might want to read up since you guys want to build is considered then, I think arguably the graphics card will be the highest power, yung kukonsumo ng power. So
right.
if you have like 650 watt power supply, you can find yung sa RTX.
For this one, RTX 3060, it's about 180 watts. It's gonna consume 180 watts.
Yeah, so it says here it would be required if you have a 550 watt system requirements. So I always try to go like work around that, you know, have at least more than yung
Yes.
required, so
Correct.
you can like work around.
Because like what I mentioned earlier, mas mababa yung utilization ng power supply, mas mababa rin yung heat generation.
Susunod naman is yung liquid cooling. Now this one, I've always wanted to ask someone who is actually knowledgeable. Thank you. This works.
So, this is
Yung liquid cooling. Yeah, so what's the water? Is it like water na nasa gripo, or is it like a special kind of water?
Well, it's a liquid solution.
Oh,
It's part water,
I don't
part
like
liquid solution.
liquid.
Something similar do sa mga siguro coolant ng mga kotse. It's similar do sa kotse.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Radiator. So what happens, similar sa radiator system ng car or other systems, so liquid passes. Hindi siya water lang. So it's actually liquid solution. So yung cold liquid goes here or passes through here, cools down the water block and that cools down the processor, and then hot liquid goes back here para ma-cool down naman.
Because I've always been curious, because like, if you put this, kasi a PC can get very hot, it's like, wouldn't that just boil kasi it's water? Stupid. But it's like, you know, logic would dictate na parang kung ano man yung liquid cooling would just, if you're like overclocking your system, wouldn't that just boil the water?
Good guess, but actually no. In fact, it's all thanks to this.
Well, it depends on how hot the processor is going.
Wait, so that's a possibility na pwede mag-boil?
If let's say sobrang init ng processor,
Yeah.
if you overclock it to a certain degree, and then hindi kaya ng system mo, ng AI o liquid cooler mo, hindi naman sa magbo-boil, but it's mostly parang yung temperatures niya, it's gonna be through the roof.
You had one job! That's your job, did you just stop doing that? Put this like in the context ng dito sa Philippines. Would you recommend that if you're running like a gaming PC?
Depends
to have,
on
like, a
the
liquid
processor.
cooler? Depends on the processor.
If let's say Ryzen 5 3400G or 3500X or even 3500, what we've noticed or observed dun sa mga builds na nagawa namin, doesn't really require kasi maganda pa rin naman yung temperatures niya even if using yung stock lang na AI.
Paano kung dahil sobrang init dun sa apartment mo? Now it's summertime, gano'n.
Well, mas maganda if merong AI o liquid cooler. But again, ang ina-advise namin sa mga clients namin, i-observe nila kung kamusta yung temperatures ng PC. Always monitor and then see if kailangan nga yung upgrade for liquid cooling or CPU air cooler na aftermarket or hindi naman kailangan. Kasi last thing we want is gagastos lang yung client pero hindi naman pala yun yung dapat pagtuunan ng budget nila.
Yeah, yung laptop ko sa bahay na I've been using to stream, again, I'm a streamer, is very, it's like, naawa ko sa kanya kasi sobrang lakas nung, yung fan, diba? So, sabi nga nila, pag mas maraming RGB, di ba mas malakas yung computer?
More FPS.
Yeah, more frame rate.
More.
Yeah, wait I've been curious pag dito kanya, because once you do like 60 frames, it's like anything over that, you hardly even notice yung difference.
That I have to disagree.
What?
Kasi it depends on the game that you're playing.
Uh-huh.
And meron kasing systems when you run it and then if you pair it with a really nice monitor, you can have an advantage over your opponent.
Oh yeah, like FPS games, like
Especially if
first-person
FPS
shooter.
games.
I know.
That's the reason why a lot of people are opting for 240 Hz monitors.
In terms of like visual, would you
Visual
even,
also,
you could
yeah.
also, would you
Visual,
able to
well,
see
para
the
sa akin,
difference?
I mean, sanay na ako dito sa 165 Hz ko na monitor. And if going back sa 60 Hz and I would see yung screen tearing, may hilo ko.
Oh.
So, kagaya niyan, when I played, when Final Fantasy 7 Remake came out, I played it sa PS4 and sobrang nahilo ko kasi nga nakakakita ako ng screen tearing sa TV ko. Pagka ganun ka smooth yung kumbaga graphics ng game, mas pleasant yung experience. Plus hindi ka may.
So once you get like yung PC case na is up next. So this is like the biggest thing you can customize with your. I'll just show the finished product later. Of course, I would advise everyone always get like an SSD, especially if you're just gonna run your OS much more faster. But also have like maybe an HDD if you want to store yung files nyo, if you're gonna do editing and movies that you definitely don't pirate. You just put that on your hard drive, makes it much more cleaner. Pero if you just need like an OS for your, it's like 100, even 120 gigabyte SSD is enough if you just want the OS.
And then siguro to add to that, so another kumbaga, reason why we do that is because we also give our clients the freedom na gamitin yung dati nila or previous drives. So if let's say I'm a client, I wanna buy a new PC or I wanna upgrade my PC, pero I wanna keep my files. So you can actually bring over your hard drives here, your storage drives, your SSDs here. Ikabit natin doon sa new PC or sa upgraded PC, and then it's like we still keep all of your files. We'll just update all of the drivers for you, and then yeah, you can take home the PC.
Yeah, arguably the biggest commodity, the GeForce RTX 37. I wanted like a 37, but then again, like, you know, this is my first PC. If I wanted to, I could always just, and I, you know, gives me a reason to come back to this beautiful place. Who wouldn't want to come back to this beautiful place? I bought like a Steel Series that nakita ko sa inyo. It's like, so good. Meron akong
So this is the
pair.
RTX 7.
Yeah, I have the exact pair of the RTX 7.
This is a wireless headset.
That's free pag sinabi nyo not George sent you here. No. That's great. But this is probably gonna run you at least half of your setup of your build. But once you do have it, this basically runs the entire system. Anything you see on your system from the monitor is done with the video card. The deal breaker for me here is the next generation of gaming, and if you just want to do like 1440p, and of course ray tracing, which is probably the coolest thing. If you guys saw the Miles Morales stream that we did and the Demon Souls, whenever we do ray tracing, it adds a different layer. I know, moving of the lights to make it more realistic. This comes with 12 gigabytes of memory, so it's gonna help us definitely. No more encoding errors. Can I see po yung box? Okay, this is it. Bigat pala talaga.
Yes, sir.
This is a block of gold right here. So, jeez, everyone. I can't believe I'm holding right on my hands. It's so, it's like a block of gold. Yeah, RTX 3060. It's very good. This is actually like more of a personal question because I wanted to hold off like yung buying of a gaming PC up until maybe 2020. Pero what has been your take and has been the effect with the whole pandemic shutting down and all the graphics cards are like 200%, 300% above MSRP? What's your take on
In all honesty, as a shop owner, we felt also the effect of the pandemic. It's not that we were enjoying higher sales or higher margins. It's more of because of the price increase, less people are actually thinking or considering or pulling the trigger in terms of building their PC. Because again, they're scared na, prices are so high, baka naman in a few months bumaba rin siya or something like that. Hindi katulad in the olden days.
in the olden days of 2020 before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic or before things went really sour in terms of yung silicon chips.
Yes. There's
Or
a shortage.
Before the shortage, we would be able to sell PC builds siguro on a daily basis, average mga around 4. And then the most that we've built in a day is 12 PC builds in a day. Because again, if we put together packages, it wasn't that expensive and it makes a lot of sense. As well as there were a lot of other options pa. A lot of options for clients. Right? Not like right now. Options are very limited, prices are really steep. And it doesn't necessarily mean that if prices are high, our own revenues are high or net revenues are high as well. It's actually the other way around. Because prices are so high, we try to limit our target margins in order to be very competitive, in order to be very attractive to potential.
And this is what I want to give props again. It seems like I'm I'm fair. You guys know that. But this is why I want to give props mga shops katulad ng Battle Pass Export because the hoarding and the scalping of the cards are very, very apparent naman ko kahit saan. Pero they're actually giving you guys they're giving you an incentive to like purchase a card and make a PCI. I think this is like 500 pesos or like they did that for me off if you buy it with a full PC. And if you don't buy it with a full PC because you're a scalping piece of shit, they would actually sell you much harder. They're discouraging people from scalping. Hey, you know what? Alam mo, if you guys want to scalp, again, that's your money. That's not on me. Pero it's just like really hard to get one of these graphics cards. But if you, I went to, I don't wanna, I'll just bleep out yun. Pero nagpunta ako these different places. And it's probably not their fault because they don't get to decide yung prices. But it's like if you would get like a 3060, it's like 60,000 or 70,000. It's just like, it's too much. I mean, the MSRP for this is like 20,000 at least. It's like 16, but if you include tax, it's like 20,000 in the Philippines. Diba? So, at least in places like these, in Battle Pass Tech Parts, they actually give you a reasonable amount of price. So, go check them out. They're really, really great. Where can they find you? I know I'm gonna have 5 followers. So, please plug yung page and whatever.
Thank you. So you can check us out at facebook.com/bptechparts. Find us here at South Caloocan in Grace Park area. We're just right outside the exit of the newly opened SM Grand Central.
I just came here. Like literally like a couple of minutes ago, like 40 minutes, and they're already finished with my build. I really wanted to do like yung build, but you have to do this. You can't multitask. Next time na lang, because there's gonna be a lot more. Because I'm gonna definitely come back. Like look at all those. It's an all-in-one store. They have mouses.
So we don't have that kumbaga elaborate selections, but what we do is we try to curate all of the different peripherals that we think are bang for buck, as well as in performance.
I love that you guys have Red Dragon. Same build, they do it in less than an hour. Very good stuff. What's the mode of payment that's gonna be like?
So we accept cash, online bank transfer, credit card option is also available, and then video installment also available. Soon, we'll be able to accommodate BPI, China Bank, and Citibank.
How about shout out from a streamer? Do you guys accept that?
Should the man be charged with murder? Or what about involuntary manslaughter, seeing as he likely didn't intend to kill the intruder? Do you think the man didn't commit a crime at all? Do you think the killing was justifiable? Think about that for a second or two. It's not so easy to answer, is it?
We accept it and we give thanks.
That's my one joke coming into this one. That's like the most disgusting thing you can say, by the way. But I'll shout you out on my stream, bro, for this 200,000 gaming PC for a shout out. I love that you did it. Well, yeah, thank you for Battle Pass Tech Party. Great day for being such a good sport. Thank you so much. I'll show you guys later. I'll do yung benchmarking test once we get this work of art home. And yeah, see you guys later. Preferably tomorrow or the next day. See you guys later at the stream.